All right. Well, up next, we had a tag team match that opened the show, and boy, was it awesome. Big Show and Mark Henry versus the Wyatt family, Rowan and Harper. And, dude, if you would have asked me before this match started what I was going to think of it, I would have been like, ugh, just get it done quickly. I really don't want to see Harper and Rowan get squashed. And alas, not only did they not get squashed, but these four men put on an amazing match together.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I was feeling kind of like a downer when this match was announced that it was going to happen because, and this is the second time that we have been doing it, but I guess I'll just touch on it quickly. They did have a match on SmackDown, and I felt like for the most part, Big Show and Mark Henry pretty much went in and dominated these guys, all things considered.
Right, and by the way, I just want to throw this out there. The reason we're not reviewing SmackDown this week is because it feels wrong to review a SmackDown that happened before the most recent pay-per-view.
Right. And I think we even said during our live reactions, like, how that was going to go.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much to cover.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the finish was pretty dominant. I mean, yet I'm talking about the SmackDown match with Big Show with the WMD, the knockout punch, and Mark Henry to the other Wyatt family member. I believe that was Harper with the World's Strongest Slam. So it's like, wow, these guys are looking more and more like jokes. It's really beginning, to bother me seeing their booking. But this match, on the other hand, I'll tell you what this match did for me. It shows that big man wrestling, so to speak, I think still has a place, even in 2014, which I think is increasingly becoming about that athleticism, those smaller guys, things like that. These guys earned their keep tonight. They did some really wonderful stuff.
Yeah, they were just great tonight. I can't specifically name any really awesome spots or anything, but I think that, if anything, speaks more to the just quality of the overall match, because generally you do standout spots to pop the crowd when you can't figure out anything easier to do to get the crowd invested. And I was thoroughly invested in that match, and I don't remember any specific awesome spots that happened. I just remember being entertained from beginning to end.
The two moments that stick out in my mind, one a little weird, the other one not so much, because even commentary built it up. Harper does a drop kick at one point. I'm sorry. Anytime a man of that height and just size does any kind of agile or athletic maneuver, I'm going to pop for it. I'm going to react to it. He could do that suicide dive a million times, and I'm going to react to it all a million times. It's just not even normal. It's not. The guy's a freak. And then the other one came from Eric Rowan, so they both got one. He body slams the Big Show.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. That was a great visual. The crowd reacted wonderfully to it. Both of these teams, all four of these men, seem very competitive, very combative. In the end, Mark Henry and Big Show do come up on the losing side of things.
No, they won.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, did I say losing? I meant winning. They came up on the winning side of things because, yeah, you had Mark Henry nail the World's Strongest Slam after Big Show got one knockout punch, and then the other who walked into the World's Strongest Slam, I believe that was Rowan who walked into it. And I will stand by, Ashton, that I am becoming a little bit more concerned about the booking of the Wyatt family. I think quite a few wrestling fans have been vocal about that point lately. I know even you and I have had discussions more so about Bray concerning the faction. But yeah, I really thought these guys would have been tag team champions by now. It's a little bit disheartening to see them in this position, but at least they had a great match.
Yeah, they put on a really fun match here. As you said, Mark Henry and Big Show won thanks to Big Show knocking out both opponents in the course of 5 seconds, and then Mark Henry hitting a World's Strongest Slam on Rowan for the win. So up next, we had a backstage segment with The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, and Ric Flair. Ziggler tells Miz he's not an A-lister, he's an A-hole, and then Miz just kind of walks off while Flair was talking with Ziggler.
It just felt so right seeing Ziggler and Flair interact with each other. So right.
I honestly, dude, I want Ric Flair to become Dolph Ziggler's valet. And I mean valet, not manager, because a manager does stuff. I just want Ric Flair to follow Dolph and laugh at his jokes with a woo.
Kind of like how Tony Atlas was for Mark Henry when he was ECW champion. He seemed to be kind of like that role, just laughing at Mark's stuff.
Yeah, a little bit to that. I just want Dolph Ziggler to be like, you're not an A-lister, you're an A-hole, and then just Ric Flair in the background like, ha ha ha, woo!
I would like to see him do that, but yet also I would like to see him a little bit more. Never really speaking for Dolph like Paul Heyman does for Lesnar, but I would like to see him stick around for his matches and get involved, if only absolutely necessary, though. Like, don't overdo the hijinks. If you see that Dolph's in immediate peril of losing a championship or losing a high-profile match, you get in there and you do your Ric Flair thing, because I loved the stuff that him and Triple H did together. Looking back at it, what an impressive body of work, and I just feel like him and Dolph together, what a tandem that would be. It's just great to see Dolph with a championship again, though. I saw him with the Intercontinental Championship, and I'm not going to lie to everybody, I had a smile on my face. Guy damn well deserves it, and that was an awesome segment.
Yeah, it was good stuff, man. So up next, we had a Renee Young interview with Seth Rollins. She congratulated him on his win at SummerSlam, and he said that he did what he told the entire world he would do. He didn't run or hide. He stood in the ring and proved that not only is he the future of the WWE, he is the future WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then Renee, being the sly little cat that she is, moves out of the shot, and then an ice bucket water gets dumped on Rollins. And then he turns around, and with this great shit-eating grin on his face, Ambrose goes, "What? It's for charity." And then he throws the bucket at Rollins' face and beats the crap out of him. I love it.
This was my segment of the night.
Absolutely. And it was like 2 minutes, not even, and it was amazing.
Because for what it would translate into, Ashton, later in the show, and just for the comedic value independent of everything else, yeah, nothing beat this segment. This was great. The GIF's already out for all of you who want to swarm the internet and get at it. I know Ashton provided me with it, and I just enjoyed it for a solid few minutes. So yeah, this was hilarious. Ambrose is fantastic. As I've said, one of, if not the top babyface, I think, right now with the reactions that he gets. Crowd loves Ambrose, and so do I. They quickly got broken up again by the brigade of Finlay, Jamie Noble, and wasn't there a third person that we easily had?
Joey Mercury.
Yeah, Finlay, Jamie Noble, and Joey Mercury. Let all powers combine to break up this brawl.
I feel like Jamie Noble has gotten more Raw time in the last month or two than he ever did during his active career.
I know, right? You even said that between Zack Ryder and Damian Sandow, you take their TV time, and it still wouldn't even compare to the TV time that I think Jamie Noble just by himself has gotten, and then you add in Finlay and Joey Mercury, and yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's pretty hilarious, actually.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, great stuff, yeah.
So, up next, we get a replay of what literally just happened with the whole Rollins-Ambrose Ice Bucket thing. And Rollins storms in on Kane and Triple H, and he says, "We've got to take Ambrose out, and we need to get rid of him for good." And Triple H tells him to relax. "We're going to set up a match between you guys tonight, and it's people like Ambrose that are really a problem because everyone loves Ambrose because he's crazy and he's unpredictable. So we are going to let the fans pick this match, and the blood is going to be on their hands when you destroy Ambrose tonight." And then Kane wished him good luck. Triple H tells him to finish it, and we get our choices between a no disqualification match, a Falls Count Anywhere match, and a no holds barred match.
I really like those choices, particularly Falls Count Anywhere. That was the one that stood out to me. I know you were even saying, like, you felt like that's the kind of match relations that really benefit from. So it was great to see that as an option. And yeah, the Authority was just thinking to themselves, either we take care of Dean Ambrose now or it's never going to happen, but let's make sure that the blood is on the fans' hands. So Authority scheming as always.
Yep. Up next, we had Natalya versus Paige. Pretty, solid match, I guess, until AJ shows up and starts skipping around, and then Paige gets rolled up for the win.
Yeah, I loved it. AJ makes a distraction, and then the post match, because there came a point where AJ, when she was doing like her psycho stuff, whatever, that I was growing a bit weary of it. I'm like, okay, where else do we go from here? But I think I've been away from it for so long, and she stayed away from it for so long that I found it really refreshing when she goes, I love you, Paige. I dedicate my life to you, Paige. I just need to come in there and shake your hand. And she goes in the ring, and Paige immediately leaves. She has this look on her face like, what fresh hell is this? And she just hightails it out of there. So, yeah, I'm glad that AJ is sticking the screws to her now, really messing with her head. What's funny, Ashton, is I've heard, well, at least Jim Ross is of the belief, reading his latest blog, that he sees one more match occurring between Paige and AJ at Night of Champions. But then he could almost see AJ distancing herself from WWE. And you know what? The more I thought about it, it's not entirely implausible to me. So we'll have to see what the rest of this feud holds.
I love that Paige just had this look on her face like, oh God, I trolled the wrong psycho.
Yeah, it's like you have that upper hand, you've got your swagger about you, you're feeling confident about things, and then they, have their rebuttal, then they retort, and then you think, oh God, now I remember who I'm messing with. And
AJ went full Bane. You merely adopted the crazy. I was born in it.
Exactly, and I think Paige is realizing that now, like, oh God, this is getting serious now, isn't it? So, if that forces Paige to up her game, and not necessarily get even crazier, but just be strong enough to put the crazy opposing her down, it's like it's been this slow progression, right? Because Battleground, I felt like they just had a good bout, just a good bout. SummerSlam, with the time they were given, I thought they did great. Night of Champions, if they're just given a little bit more time, could be excellent. It really could be. So I'm hoping it happens. I'm very intrigued to see where this goes from here now that AJ is putting Paige on the defensive for a change.
Yep. Should be interesting. I like that they're continuing this feud, though. I will say that. I'm glad that the climax of the feud wasn't at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the final showdown, the two bullets in each respective gun left in the chamber need to be fired at Night of Champions. They may even get a stip with how this feud is going. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But I do think Paige will ultimately emerge victorious.